Good evening, everyone. I'm Irahari Samson. Registration number 2024 BIT stroke 089 stroke PS, a student of Mbarara University of Science and Technology. And today I'm going to take you through the Java reserved keywords. As we check on and move on, we shall come to learn on how these different words are used in every code snippet. So here we start with abstract, which is used to declare classes or a method that cannot be used directly. For example, when I want to use a car, like a vehicle, how will I show it in my code? This is how I write it. Then we have assert, which is used for debugging to test assumptions in a code. For example, if I initiate my integral, which is 5, to if I initiate my x to be a 5, I assert x to be greater than 0. So if it is true, my x must be what? A positive. Then we have a boolean, which is a data type that can hold true or false. For example, I write boolean is Java fun, then I equate it to true. Yes. Then we have a break, which exists a loop or a switch statement in our code. For example, 4, then you declare your integer, then you initialize it to a value that you want, then you give the condition, you state the condition. The way we do it in C programming is the same way we write the loop here in Java. So you initialize your integer, you give the initialization, then you state the condition. For example, here I stated that let my I be less than 10. Then how am I going to move on with that? To check the condition that I've given is by using a loop. Then if my I is less than 10, like here where I say let my I, if my I equals to 5, it will break. So if I enter a value which is less than 10 but is not 5, my loop will continue. But if I enter a 5, it will break. Then we have a byte, which is a data type of 8-bit integers. For example, if I want a byte B to be 128, it's of 8-bit. Then we have a case, which is used to define a branch in a switch statement. For example, if I switch a day, my case can be a Monday. So if I'm to print it out, I'll type system.out.println, then work. It will show that Then we have a catch, which is used to catch exceptions in a try-catch block. For example, this is how we write its code. Then we have a char, and this is a data type for a single 16-bit Unicode character. For example, if I want to write character A, I write char grade, then A if I'm grading, if I'm looking for grades. Then if I want a name, I write char name, then I put the letter. Then we have a class, which is used for declaring classes. For example, my class, which is dog. Remember, in Java, when you're writing the class name, we begin with a capital letter. Then we have continue, which is used for skipping the current iteration in a loop. It's the same way that we've been doing it in C programming. That's the same format we follow here. Then we have a default. A default keyword is used to specify the default branch in a switch statement in a code. For example, if I want to print out the default, if the day is not there, then it will give me the output will be an invalid day. Then we have a do, which is used to start a do while loop in a code. As you can see, all their snippets are written there. The examples of the codes are already written for you, so you can follow up and check out on how to write the different codes and how these different keywords are used in coding in Java. Then we have a double, which is a data type for a 64-bit floating point, where now like floating point numbers in a code. For example, if I want to write double, for example pi, but I want it to have very many, like it has a precision of about 15 to 16 precision digits, where like I will have 3.14159 as a double, then that one, that's the number of precision digits a double can hold, 15 to 6. Then we have else, that defines an alternative branch in an if statement in a code. That else will give you chance to put the other condition. If x is greater than 0, like greater than 5, then it will print out positive. If else my x is less than 5, then it will print a negative. So here then we move on to enum. Like enum declares a enumerated type of data in a code snippet. For example, enum day, that gives you Monday or Tuesday. Then we have extends, which is used to indicate that a class inherits from another class. For example, a class dog extends to class animal, as you can see there. Then we have a final, which presents modification of a variable or method in a class or method. Final presents modification of a variable or method or class in a code. For example, final, where we have int x as initialized to 10. Then we have finally, which defines a block of code that executes after a try-catch block. So the code is written there. Then we have a float, which is a data type for 32-bit floating point numbers in a code, and it's written in that way. Then we have for, which is used for starting a for loop. A for loop, we all know that while writing a for loop, there must be initialization, then there must be a condition, and the increments or decrements. Then we have if, which is used for starting a conditional statement. In the if statements, for example, then we have implements, that indicates that a class implements an interface. For example, a class dog implements animal. Then we have import, which includes classes or packages in a code, as you can see there. Then we have the instance of, which checks if an object is an instance of a class in a code, as you can see the way it is written down here. Then we have int, which is a data type for 32-bit integers. For example, I initialize my int x to a 10, as it's shown here. This is what we call initialization of an integer. Then we have an interface, which is used to declare an interface in a code. For example, interface animal, then the void, I'll give a sound, like if I'm interfacing the animal, then I'll look for the sound. Then we have a long, which is a data type for 64-bit integers used in a code. For example, as you see, the example is already stated there. Then a native, which indicates that a method is implemented in a native code, as you can see down here, the way its snippet is written. Then we have new, which is used to create project which is new. For example, you give the string name, which is s, then the new string, which is hello, then the package, which is used to declare a package for a class. Then we have private, which restricts access to within the class in a code, as you can see there. Then we have protected keyword which restricts access to within the package or subclasses. Then we have public that allows from any other class in a code. Then we have return, which exits a method and optionally returns a value. Return exists a method and optionally returns a value. Then we have short, which is a data type for 16-bit integers used in a code. Then we have static, which indicates that a variable or method belongs to the class, not instances. Then we have strict FP, which ensures consistent floating point calculations across platforms. Then we have super, which refers to the superclass of an object in a code. For example, the dog extends class dog extends animal. The dog is in the superclass of the animal. Then switch, which starts a switch statement of a code. Then we also have a synchronized keyword, which ensures thread safe access to a method or block, as you can see there. Then this, which refers to the current object. Then we have throw, used to throw an exception, as you can see. Then we have throws, which declares exception that a method might flow. Then we have a transient that marks a field as not to be serialized. Then we have try, which starts a block of code to handle exceptions. Then we have void that indicates that a method does not return a value, so it means it's valueless. Then we have volatile that ensures visibility of changes to variables across threads. Then while, that starts a while loop, as you can see there, the snippet. Then true, which is a Boolean literal representing that the value is true. Then we have false, which is just the opposite of true, which is a Boolean literal representing that the value is false. Then we have null, which is a literal representing a null reference or no object. Then val used for, we have val, which is used for local variable type references. Then we have sealed restricts, which restricts which classes can extend or implement a class or interface. Then we have permits, which specifies or allows subclasses of a sealed class. Then we have non-sealed, which allows a sealed class's subclass to be extended by any other class. Then finally we have yield, which returns a value from a switch expression. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope that with this coding like Java keywords, the reserved keywords, you can be able to come up with suitable and nice codes. Have a nice time and a good evening.